it's Red. I got KT filming me. Today I'm going to be doing a video of some very common questions that we get quite often, and that is how to install a Milspec handguard or handguard in general on the Vortex, Blizzard, and Bolt, and also some Flexi Air questions. So let's get started. I have a Blizzard here, I have a Bolt, and I have a Vortex. These three models are the most sought after for the Milspec barrel nuts and the Milspec handguard compatibility options. So first I want to show you how and what the barrel nut looks like. So this is the one for the Blizzard. It installs extremely easy. All you have to do is you'll take off your magazine well, and you will go ahead and keep in mind, guys, this hinge screw down here is 2 different size Allen, so you want to make sure that you take that off. All you got to do is remove the top one and then insert just like this. Now, installing a handguard is comprised of the 3 parts. Obviously, your Milspec barrel adapter, your Milspec barrel nut, and then obviously your handguard. The most common and most popular handguard for us is the tactical Riz rails, and they come in. We have 5 different lengths. We have the 4, the 7, the 9, and the 12. Those 4 are very common. Then obviously you have your Milspec ones that we carry as well. So how to install the, let's say, the tactical Riz. First, you'll need obviously your barrel nut adapter here, and then you'll need a Milspec barrel nut itself. You'll take this, has threading on the inside here. You'll attach it to your marker. Go ahead and screw it all the way down. A common tool that you want to think about picking up is an AR wrench, and the AR wrench allows you to torque down this barrel nut so it doesn't go anywhere. Keep in mind that when you install and you have your Milspec barrel nut, it is going to be free floating. So for those of you who in the past have had the non-free floating version where you have the barrel insert and it actually attaches to the barrel, and the handguard then attaches to the barrel insert via the set screws, and you have to take off your handguard and your barrel nut and your barrel all at the same time. You don't have to do that with your Milspec handguard. So you'll go ahead and you'll torque this down as far as you can go. That's why I said it's very beneficial to have the AR wrench. Those are available on the mcsus.com website. And you'll take your Riz rail and you'll go ahead and attach it, and you'll want to make sure that it lines up correctly. If you look here, that there is a slight gap and variation if you're not lining it up correctly. You don't want to do that. There is a higher rail that actually lines up and creates a flush mount. One thing to keep in mind with the Blizzard Milspec barrel nut is you're going to have a space here that I'll show you on a marker that I have here. You'll have a little bit of a space here. I mean, it's not really noticeable, but if you're kind of picky that way and you want that handguard to be flush to the receiver, then you're going to want to check out the one that we have for the Bolt and the Vortex, which is this one right here. This is the newest one that we've just released. This is a hot item for the Vortex, which brings me to my next point. Installing the Milspec barrel nut adapter on the Vortex. Now, for those of you who already have a Vortex and don't have the newest version shells that we have now, you're gonna want to pay attention to this, definitely. Some of you have purchased it and you've noticed that there is a little bit of a barrel wobble. Unfortunately, that's completely normal. The tolerance on our old shells are the Tippmann spec, and they don't have a Milspec barrel nut adapter, so that's where you get that slight variation. But the solution to that is when you install it on your Vortex, and one thing that how you install that, you'll see that there is a notch right here. You're going to want to take I always like to do it on the right hand shell, and I will go ahead and I will line up that notch to the center of the receiver. So when I close both shells here, you will be able to see that that notch is completely lined up with that crack there from the receivers. You'll go ahead and you'll take your body screws and you will torque them down to lock that in. Now, like I said, there was a little bit of a wobble on the older shells. There is a thicker O-ring that you can get. You can contact me or KT and we'll take care of that for you. Other than that, when you have your old body shells and once you've torqued these down, when you take your barrel nut and you screw it down, boom, no wobble. So for those of you who have the old version and you're concerned about the wobble, We understand, but like I said, when you put your Milspec barrel nut on there, it will eliminate that wobble for you and you will not have any issues with that. For those of you who have the newer shells, a little bit different story. KT put a lot of time and effort in addressing this issue that you guys have had a problem with in the past, and so installing the Milspec barrel nut on the adapter, on the new shells is going to be a little bit difficult. It is very, very tight. So what I always recommend is the same installation process. You'll take that top notch, and there's only the notch on the top, so you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I can't find it? There's only one, guys. So you'll go ahead and you'll attach it directly the same way. You'll line that up the best that you can, and then you'll take your other shell, you'll put it on there, and you'll notice that there's a little bit of a gap there. That's completely normal. What you can do is you'll take your handy dandy rubber mallet, a couple taps on each side. Try not to hit the hinge area as much as if you can help it at least. Put that down. There you go. Eliminates your gap. You'll go ahead and torque down the screws. Now, if the gap is still a little bit persistent and the screws that you have do not catch, what you can do is you can take the trigger guard screw here at the bottom. You can torque it down to one side and get it started while you screw in the other one, and that will eliminate that gap so you can screw that in. And what you can see here is you'll have the ability to use Milspec handguards. For those of you who go right into the Milspec handguards and you get the receiver, keep in mind that each barrel nut for the Milspec handguards are usually proprietary. So where you have this one is a Noveski barrel nut. This is used on the NSRs and another model. Keep in mind that you will, when you purchase a Milspec handguard, 9 times out of 10, they're always going to come with their own proprietary barrel nut. So as long as it's Milspec, it will fit on any one of these adapters. For our tactical Riz handguards, we have our own Milspec barrel nut that is for those handguards. So if you are interested in the tactical Riz rails and any 4 of the links that we offer, make sure you pick up the Milspec barrel nut. Other than that, guys, let's get into the Flexi Air Kit here. The Flexi Air Kit is one of the most common and sought after upgrades out of every one of our marker systems. So let's talk about what rear air or Flexi Air Kit allows you to do. The Flexi Air Kit allows you to have rear air. So the Vortex, the Hurricane, the Bolt, and the Blizzard, all have rear air capabilities. So what we do is you take your standard, don't have one up here, but your standard bottom line ASA, and what we'll do with this Flexi Air Kit, it will divert the air to the rear. It's very simple to do. It's very simple to install. When you get your Flexi Air Kit, you're going to get these pieces. You're going to get a back cap. This is actually the one for the Blizzard. You're going to get a new valve. You're going to get a power tube. You're going to get a copper tube, and you're going to get a new linkage arm. These parts are already in your markers. So whether you're converting an IDA, you're converting your A5, etc., your Vulcan SW1, BT4, Alpha Black, doesn't matter. All of these parts are already represented in your kit. All you need to do is you will take your new valve, and this, like I said, this is the valve that you'll receive for the Blizzard. You will make sure that the spring-loaded end is facing forward. There's a hole at the top of the valve. There's also a hole in the top of your power tube. You line those holes up, and then you have it just like that. If it doesn't line up, you can take your linkage arm, move it just like that, just so it lines up correctly. There you go. You'll go ahead and you'll insert your copper tube this way, and it sets in there with a set screw, and with an O-ring. When you install your copper pipe, I always like to take a little bit of Teflon grease, put that on there to just lubricate that while I insert it into there. And you have your hammer and your bolt that goes over the power tube, and your hammer here on the back. The linkage arm connects just like your old linkage arm, just like that. And then you have your velocity spring and your velocity adjustment pin that will go right into this rear cap right here, just like you see on this Blizzard right here. And this will allow you to use air and stock options, 13 cubic inch tanks, 17 cubic inch tanks, and obviously this remote line adapter right here. If you have any other questions or concerns regarding the Flexi Air Kit, KT did a great video that is all under our tech videos category on the mcsus.com site. If you guys have a barrel nut that are, or I'm sorry, the non-free floating version, like I was telling you earlier, I wanted to show you that this is what a free float handguard looks like. This will allow you to remove the barrel with ease and swap out to a different one. If you do not have a free float version, what will happen is like I said before, your Milspec handguard, and I'll remove this barrel to show you here. This will be an insert. It'll have no threading. It'll just be an insert depending on the width, or I'm sorry, the diameter of the barrel that you use. So if you have a 7/8 inch barrel, you'll need a 7/8 inch insert. If you have a 1 inch barrel, you'll need a 1 inch insert, and etc. So when you take this, you'll go ahead and you will take your insert, and this will go right over the barrel just like that. So, excuse me, you'll want to screw in your barrel, then you'll take your insert, and you will set screw, which these are holes are right here for the set screw. You will set screw it to the barrel as tight as you can. And usually that will indent into the barrel. So if you have a really nice barrel and you really don't feel like scuffing it up, probably the barrel mounted version or the insert version of a handguard is not going to be for you. Once you have the Milspec barrel nut, or insert set screwed down, you then will take your handguard, you will pass it on through, and you will then set screw the handguard to the barrel insert. And then, like I said, you'll have to unscrew this as fast, or you'll have to unscrew the entire assembly just to remove the barrel. So for those of you who are not looking for that type of headache, get yourself a Milspec barrel nut adapter, get yourself a Milspec barrel nut, and get yourself a Riz Rail or a Milspec handguard. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you today. Once again, this is MCS Red with MCS. You can find all these products at the mcsus.com website.
Combat sports.